They say it's a myth. They say it's hate. But when you trace the science in the scriptures, what you find is a pattern too precise to ignore. 6,000 years ago, according to the teachings of the Nation of Islam, a brilliant but misguided black scientist named Yacuub began an experiment on the island of Patmos. Not just a science experiment, an agenda. He wanted to engineer a new people by isolating the lightest traits in our gene pool, generation after generation. Through selective breeding, he began grafting out the dominant traits of original people, melanin, compassion, connection to the divine, and left behind something else. A being with little pigmentation, recessive traits, aggression hardwired through scarcity. And while they laugh at the idea, science quietly confirms what they mock. Recessive traits only rise in isolated populations. That's not mythology. That's evolutionary biology. It's called a genetic bottleneck. European populations, especially those descending from the last ice age, are genetically linked to a very small founder group, likely less than 200 individuals. And when you isolate a population, what happens? The weaker traits, traits that would normally be masked by dominant melanin, start to express. Red hair, pale skin, blue eyes, and lower levels of melanin come with consequences. Weaker immune function, inability to absorb sunlight, higher rates of neurodegenerative disease. That's not opinion. That's peer-reviewed. The MC1R gene governs melanin expression. In melanin-dominant people, it regulates deep pigmentation, UV protection, and energy conversion. In melanin-recessive populations, mutations in this gene result in depigmentation, traits that make the body vulnerable in sunlight, mentally unstable under pressure, and cut off from vibrational memory. And here's the part that connects the science to the soul. Once Yacuub's creation reached critical mass, they were exiled into the caves of West Asia, what we now call Europe. There, in the cold, dark isolation of mountains and ice, survival wasn't about harmony. It was about domination. Over thousands of years, a culture emerged that saw nature not as divine, but as something to conquer. Scarcity bred greed. Sunlight became an enemy. And from this cauldron, the false systems we now live under were born. White supremacy, colonization, capitalism, it all traces back to a cold world mindset forged in those caves. So when they ask, where do white people really come from? The answer isn't just Europe, it's grafted mutation.
Well, the world is one step closer to creating designer babies with a world-first experiment altering the genes of embryos. Scientists at Columbia University have used a method called base editing, which chemically alters one letter in the DNA sequence. They were able to successfully edit 2 genes in a human embryo, removing mutations that, if developed, would have put a human at risk of heart disease. While previously clinics have offered to screen for certain genetic traits, this marks the first known instance of using base editing to alter an embryo once it's been created. These embryos have not been implanted to lead to a pregnancy, but researchers say it is now possible to produce a child from genetically altered embryos. It's a controversial proposal and it's had ethicists worried for years. On one hand, it may allow mutations that could cause disease to be removed from embryos, reducing the risk of future illnesses. But on the other, it opens the door to eugenics by offering potential parents the ability to select traits such as hair or eye colour, even intelligence and athletic ability. These edits are not always perfect, and even when they do work, they may lead to unforeseen medical complications further down the line.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha. Bitches lying. They're out here trying to make more white babies designer babies. What the fuck does that even mean? What is a designer baby? I'll tell you what. They're not sweet. This ironically just happens to come around the same time as the white race is dwindling in population worldwide. It's not just a problem in America. It's also a problem in Europe. Spain, the Scandinavian countries. So yeah, like she tried to like sugarcoat the shit and say, oh, you get to pick things like what she say, the color of the hair, the eyes, yeah, and the skin, motherfucker. You're not sweet. Right? Anybody with a half working brain knows where this shit is going. Which I'm not mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. I ain't mad at you. I understand that you motherfuckers are dwindling in race and or in population, and you're scrounging to find some type of solution, right? Your peoples ain't fucking that much. So you got to do something, and this right here seems like the next best thing. They figure like the government feels like if you're not fucking and reproducing, then we'll just fund these scientists, clinics or labs or whatever the fuck. We'll get them the bris now, so that they can figure this shit out, because we be damn if we didn't take the whole US and most of the fucking world and colonize all these brown people just to turn back around and get his shit back to them. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know if that's what the white man is thinking, but you got to know, if a nigga like me is thinking about this shit, and I'm nobody, right? In the grand scheme of things, who the fuck am I? I'm nobody, right? If I'm thinking about this, the white man already thought it, right? I forgot what movie it's from, but the nigga was just like, don't think I haven't thunk it. I think it might have been Snatched. But yeah, you got to know, if I've already thought about this shit, that somebody within power has already thought about this. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the play. They trying to cap and tell us that, you know, the white race is dwindling and there won't be no more white people, which that'll never actually, I don't believe, will ever be true, right? Even if it's 6 motherfuckers, people love to fuck. It's gonna be some white people that's still fucking cranking the kids out, right? It might not be millions upon millions upon millions of white people, but it's gonna be something. Like, we can stop the cap. So like, that's where I think that shit's going. Watch 10 years from now, I'll even tell people, fuck that, quote me on it. Quote me on that shit. 10 years from now, I swear to God, I'm gonna pin this video, or at least try to. I'm gonna pin this video and just hope that 10, 20 years from now, I can go back to this video and say, see, I told you. Because they're going to be saying, a couple has actually paid $100,000 for a designer baby, and they've managed to come up with a baby with white skin. And not only did they get one kid, but the mother actually gave 72 embryos, and they've inseminated like 22 of them. And then there you go. You're going to have white bitches. You're going to have white bitches giving up multiple eggs. Brad going to be shooting in multiple cups, right? Giving multiple cups of sperm up. They going to be going in the lab, making the lab babies, bro. Nobody's falling for the shit that white people going to go extinct. It's not happening. And this right here is actually further proof for the shit. The fact that they can actually they can go in there and modify, make sure the kid don't have heart disease, or they can go and tweak the eyes or the hair color or other traits. There's either 3 things gonna happen. They're either gonna make people to be able to make designer babies where they can dictate hair, skin, eyes, shit like heart disease, balding, kidney disease. They're either going to do that, they're going to make a race of retarded people, or they're going to basically fail miserably, right? Make zombie babies, produce a whole bunch of kids that within 5 to 7 years after they're born, they going to prematurely die. So me personally, While I'm not religious, I don't believe in going in there fucking up shit that like God did. Whatever a God did, right? Creator, God, the author of the simulation we in, whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know these things. You know what I'm saying? As knowledgeable as I may come across to some people, I'm that particular thing I haven't really fleshed out. I don't know if there is or isn't a God from the Bible, at least, right? I know there's got to be some type of creator made all this elaborate shit, but I don't know if it's a God. Now, as it pertains to like going in there and trying to screw with Mother Nature, I see no good coming from that shit. I think that actually option 2 is most likely. They're gonna make a whole bunch of like chromosome missing people, motherfuckers with 32 chromosomes, motherfuckers gonna be missing a nose, ears, a couple fingers and shit. People gonna be born without assholes and dicks. It's just gonna be all fucked up. So like, I don't believe they should do it. That's why I'm trying to get my shit together so I can get the fuck up out of here. Maybe go to another country less developed so they can't do shit like that, or at least go to Sweden where they're not trying to do shit like that. But I think that's the new play, right? Either that or I forgot. I don't know how I didn't mention this. Maybe they're gonna make a race of slave babies. Maybe AI will make people rich, not have to work like slaves. The cost of living will be improved. The condition on life will be improved. People won't want to work the jobs that are left over. So maybe they will make a race of slave babies, right? This is fucking Yacuub 2.0. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Click the link if you'd like to contribute to the machine. But at the very least, hit the like button if you watched this far. And I'm out.